Hello, friends. Before you try to understand anything about non-duality, before you try to practice correctly, before you try to become enlightened, there is something that must be truly known. So, let's begin. The fact that you are aware is self-evident, unavoidably so. You are aware. And no matter how much you try, you cannot not be aware. You cannot find experience or verify so-called unconsciousness from within experience. And any claim of unawareness appears only as something that is known now. So continue to notice these two facts over and over again. One, you are aware. Two, you cannot be unaware. Notice that as you acknowledge the fact of being aware, things seem to appear and vanish. They seem to come and go, but awareness remains. Sounds, sensations, thoughts, images, and so on. You may know them. They don't know you. The mind may comment, agree, resist, try to understand, misunderstand. These are all thoughts. They come and they go. Awareness is not commenting, agreeing, resisting, understanding, misunderstanding, thinking. No, the content changes. It can be ugly or it can be beautiful, but the knowing of it is the same unfabricated cognizance. After realizing, one, being aware is obvious and present. Two, things can come and go through the mind and the five senses. And three, you cannot be unaware, and even distractions are awareness of those perceptions. Decide to go and see even deeper, even more clearly. Decide to investigate awareness itself. Don't think harder about awareness. Just look into it with more care. Realize that your attention is often moving, for example, moving to a sound, to an image, to a sensation. but your capacity to control your attention is limited. If not, pause this video and try to be without thoughts right now for about 5 to 10 minutes to see if you can. When you realize that you cannot truly control your attention, as something will eventually pull it away, you will see, if you didn't already know, that attention is seemingly under your control for a limited time, or under the control of subconscious and involuntary processes. But you know what? Doesn't matter here. Just doesn't matter, because awareness is still present in both cases. The agency of control may or may not be there, but awareness is. When attention feels voluntary, that is known. When attention feels involuntary, that is known. When you feel in control, that is known. When control is gone, that is known. So don't mistake attention control or concentration for pure awareness and true enlightenment. Attention moves, it gets narrowed, it gets pulled, and so on. But the awareness is already present as the knowing of all of that. The state of mind is important for many things, but it is not relevant at all for this recognition, because you are aware of it, whatever it may be. Only the genuine recognition of being aware is important here. Understand that awareness is not a personal thing to you. It's not something that belongs to you. Personal things are mind attempts at owning objects, which are just perceptions, are just things that appear and vanish in consciousness. Attempting to own something so transient, so fleeting, brings a lot of dissatisfaction and suffering. If your mind attempts to turn awareness into an object, it will call it my awareness, as if it were a property of you. But this is simply not true, because the I that tries to appropriate things is itself an object that comes and goes. You can call it ego if you like. And the ego is like a chameleon and has been changing and adapting throughout your whole life, as it is shaped by various narratives, experiences, events, wounds, desires, and so on. The sense of who you think you are changes, but the knowing of that, awareness, is still the same, and it continues to be the same as always, rather than a property of you. So awareness is not a property of the I. The I is an identification with an object, and it appears in awareness. This is where the illusion starts to crack. what you may call individual consciousness is merely an apparent contraction in space-time, a feeling of being located here inside the body, behind the eyes, moving through space and time as a separate self. This is just an identification with form that serves the survival of this biological machine. It serves it very well, but it's not you. And continuing to identify with the individual form, which will decay and perish, leads to great suffering, as your time here is limited, your story is limited, and your freedom is undoubtedly limited. But remaining in and as awareness, the idea, the belief, the notion of being an individual, a limited self, a separate contracted being, someone located in space-time and bound by it, this idea, this feeling, this notion begins to crack. It begins to be seen through. It begins to fall away. You don't destroy your personhood. You just stop mistaking it for who you truly are. You are aware. This video is playing. Sounds are appearing. You were aware prior to the start of this video, prior to hearing my voice, and you'll continue to be aware after it ends. Things change, but awareness doesn't. By knowing the knowing itself and staying with that acknowledgement, you unlock a great non-dual key to freedom. Acknowledge it and stop looking for something else. It's not a big deal. It's not an exotic recognition. It is very simple. Perhaps too simple, and that may be the big deal. A bird is not trying to sing like a complex orchestra. Its morning song is just a small sound, kind of like an ordinary sound. You can find it anywhere in the world. Bird sound. Awareness is not an intergalactic firework. It's just like the bird sound. Now, repeat this video. This is your non-dual sadhana.